So, with the recent Fear meta ban and with Guide Ahead rerunning on the CN version of Arknights, I just kind of got a flash of inspiration to return to the game, to return to the story and give it a read. And so, I'm going to give it a quick run through here today. Let's talk about it. So, Guide Ahead focuses on two primary stories. One, of course, being focused around Fear Meta, Mastina, and Anduin, and the other being focused around Cecilia and Enforcer. Now, these two stories do intersect with each other for a number of reasons, but it's quite an interesting story. It is the first look at Laterano in Arknight's story, and explains the reason why Mastina is a fallen angel, a fallen sancta. And as Mastina has been in the game since, forever, it's kind of nice that she gets some extra lower focused around her. We also get to meet Exercise sister Lemuen in this event, which is quite interesting. I am waiting for her to get an operator because she's gonna go crazy with that sniper rifle. I just know it. But let's just get into it. The story takes place around the first summit of nations. Laterano, being a peaceful country led by a peaceful religion, is able to utilize that peace that it has built in its country to act as basically as the UN, basically summons all the countries of the world to this place for a meeting. So we get to see a number of different diplomats, but primarily we get to see the brown-tailed diplomat who just recently had an appearance in the side stories to be continued, but you get to see them doing more diplomacy work. So it's clear that Arknights is building on that. But the primary driver of this story is Cecilia. Cecilia is a young girl who is half Sancta and half Sarkaz. Now, apparently, this is impossible, and the fact that it has happened basically means that Cecilia could be erased, that the people in power would want to get rid of her. However, he bumps into Enforcer, and Enforcer is a young apprentice at the National Service in Laterano, the Notarial Hall, who, being young and I'll say naive, helps her out through a number of situations. But primarily it's taking her to the hospital because she's quite ill due to her condition. However, it's not just the church hunting her down. There's also a group called the Pathfinders, which is a reformist group, a reformist ideology led by Anduin, which wants to claim her because she will help them reform Laterano society. Anduin is a former member of Mastina, Fear Meta, and Lumen's team, which it's another big driving force for him as the antagonist of this story. A rather interesting character in his own right. But throughout the story, Cecilia ends up ringing the dormant bell of revelations, which is this is the first time the bell is rung in 1,000 years. And the Pope chooses to use this incident in order to spread his idea of world peace, which, the Pope, cool dude, and he's making the best of the situation at hand. Amidst all the chaos from the bell ringing, Anduin gets to enter the church to meet with the Pope, and the Pope initially has a friendly little chat with him, which ends with Anduin and the Pope pulling out the Glocks, the state-issued Glocks, to blast each other. This is a massive deal because, as we learn in this event, if two Sancta intentionally hurt each other, it causes them to become fallen Sancta. But this only happens under specific situations where they don't believe themselves to be in the right, but don't follow the law of the Sancta. As such, the Pope nor Anduin becomes a fallen Sancta, despite having intentionally tried to harm each other. So the Pope shows Anduin the truth of Laterano. He takes them deep underground, where whatever he sees basically breaks Anduin's fate. All we know is that whatever it is hums lowly. So very possibly could be a computer or some form of robotic life that is managing Laterano and has decreed all these things. It's a really interesting concept. I wonder where they're going to take it. Hopefully they take it down a path where we get to learn maybe more of how the Sancta and Sarkaz came into existence. Possibly this entity was created as a counter to the Sarkaz, the predominant power at the time it came into existence. But we don't know, and I'm sure it'll be revealed to us later, at least hopefully. However, after discovering this truth, Anduin is pretty mind-broken, and it's in that state where he is confronted by Fiammetta and Mostiman. These three start dueling each other, or at least Fiammetta starts trying to throw hands. After the chaos ends, Lemuen, using her gun, her sniper, shoots Anduin's pistol out of his hand. Again, Lemuen, operator, when, please, I'm begging you. And that about wraps things up. Cecilia, after the series of events, is allowed to leave Laterano. However, the Pope gives her citizenship of the country, which basically means that she can return to it at some stage after she's had her fill of exploring the world, which, could be interesting. I'm not sure how the Cecilia storyline is going to continue, if it will continue at all, but there's always room for her to get an operator, or there's always room for her to become an operator. Only time will tell. So that's about it in my mind for the event. It was a really interesting event, and I am looking forward to more Laterano lore, especially in regards to that potential supercomputer that is running the country. But only time will tell when that gets expanded upon. But if it ever does happen, I'll be sure to check it out again. And with that being said, I'll talk to you all later. Be good people.